Let's start with part 1 of Lab 3. So what you're given here is a geologic cross-section that's showing as if we cut away the Earth and look at it from the side. So that's what we call a cross-sectional view. And what you're asked to do is you're asked to figure out what sequence of events happened in order to get the underground to look like this. So it says on the next page, explain each of the events A through E. So they're numbered A, B, C, D, and E, this line here, in reverse order. Your explanation should include the series of 5 distinct geologic events. Each of it's going to be one of these 3 things. Things are going to be deposited, and we know that sedimentary rocks like sandstone and silt and shale and limestone are deposited. Remember, sandstone has a dotty pattern like this. Limestone has a brick pattern like this, and shale has a dashed pattern like this. So some things are offset, or deposited, I'm sorry. Other things are intruded. These are going to be igneous ones. And remember, the igneous one has patterns of like stipples going in different directions. And the other thing that's going to happen is things are going to be offset. You can see it looks like maybe the top of B used to be up here, but now it's kind of slid down. So you're going to figure this all out. So what you'll do is go to the next page, and let's do it from the bottom up on the next page, because we want to start with the oldest event at the bottom. So usually the oldest event is at the bottom of the pile. So in this case here, C would be the oldest event. So I'm going to put in event C here. And then what happened during event C? Well, this blue layer was deposited. So, and we know because it's dashed, a layer of shale was deposited. And then you're going to think about what happens next. But remember, the law of superposition says the youngest at the bottom, the youngest at the top, the oldest at the bottom. So that's why we put C at the bottom. But the other thing we have to remember is the law of cross-cutting relationships. And so D could not have been intruded into this area until C, B, and A were all deposited, because it cuts through all 3 of those layers. And then you have to think about when this fault offset all of these layers. So you're just going to work that all out, and you'll put this in order. You'll use each of those letters once in the stack here, and then you'll just explain what happened. So it's either going to be a layer was deposited, a layer was intruded, or something was intruded, or layers were offset. And a couple of other things to do. On this page, you're going to add an arrow to show which way things moved along this fault. You'll add it to this side over here. So things either move down on this side of the fault or up on this side of the fault. You'll just draw an arrow one direction or the other parallel to this line here to show what the movement was. And then the other thing it asks you is on the next page, draw a sketch of what things look like at the end of depositing. So you're gonna, I guess that's kind of a hint that some of the earliest things that happens are gonna be deposited, and then you'll just draw that sketch down here. And you can make the sketch very simple, right? You'll just put in some, layers. Oops. Some kind of horizontal layers. And then first thing we said was this layer was deposited. And then however many other layers you think was deposited on top of that by the time the last depositional event occurred. So you could have 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 layers here, something like that. And you'll want to use the same symbols you see here, kind of bricks for the limestone, dashes for the shale, and dots for the sandstone.